Hi there. How are all of you?
Good.
Are we ready for Christmas?
Yes.
All right. Me too. A fun time, for sure. I wanted to share a hobby with you all today. Is that okay? One of my hobbies. One of my hobbies is I am a Christian illusionist, which means I do magic. I don't claim any special powers, but I use some surprises for your eyes. Your eyes is ready to be surprised? Okay? All right. Well, when I do this magic, this Christian illusion, I use some things to help me and help all of us understand some things about our faith. Okay? And what I have are a couple of handkerchiefs today, and they are two different colors. Good so far? All right. You watch. See if your eyes get surprised. The white one, sometimes we use colors to remind us of things, and the white one can remind us of the goodness of God. Okay? The white one, goodness of God. The red one can remind us of God's love. God's love, God's goodness. With me so far? All right. Have here this empty pan, and if I put the two handkerchiefs in there, a reminder of God's love and God's goodness, okay? Put that in that pan. You know what happens if you put God's love and God's goodness together? You know what you get? Well, you don't get a what, you get a who. And the who is Jesus. This candy cane is almost like a little J. So it can remind us of Jesus. All right? I want you to each take one and then take a second one because I'd like for you to also share that with a friend. Okay? And remind them of the red and the white, God's love, and God's goodness that we know in Jesus. Pretty cool, eh? All right. Will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for Jesus. Thank you for the love and the goodness that we know through him. In his name, amen. All right. Merry Christmas. God bless you.
Please be seated. There are many wonderful hymns in our new hymnal, and I hope you enjoy singing some of the new ones. We're going to try that about once a week. As we anticipate the Advent season, today we read from the prophets who foretold it. Jeremiah chapter 33, verses 14 through 16. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will fulfill the gracious promise I made to the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days and at that time, I will make a righteous branch sprout from David's line. He will do what is just and right in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. This is the name by which it will be declared: the Lord, our righteousness.
Good morning. Very, very good to be with you all. I feel like it's sort of old home week here. There's a lot of folks that I know from the Lakeside community, and being around now for what is coming up to be my third season as Director of Religious Life and Church Relations. And the second part of that, church relations, is what we're about today, relating to the churches in the community, and certainly one of our most important churches right here on the grounds of Lakeside. Because people oftentimes ask, I'll go ahead and answer it for you. The way that I got involved in my magic and so forth with my Christian illusion, my father was a professional magician and a ventriloquist. And so I inherited all of his stuff, and also the magic bug bit me. I do not do the ventriloquism part of it, but I do enjoy the magic, and found a way to share the gospel by using Christian magic and Christian illusion. So it's been a real privilege, as I've been retired now, to go around to the churches and share some of that from time to time. You saw a portion of my entire Christmas program on the whole understanding of Jesus coming and so on, used with different kinds of magic tricks and surprises for our eyes, as I always say. The other thing that I'm asked about and happy to share is that we are coming up to the next season for our chaplains, and it's my responsibility, working with the Religious Life Committee with the Lakeside Association, to invite the different speakers in and so on. So I'll share with you just a little glimpse into to 2011, give you a peek here. The brochure will be printed in January, and then you'll get to see everything will be revealed. But some Lakesiders will be on the docket this year, Reverend Valerie Stoltz and Reverend Dr. David Bell, Reverend Dr. Gary Olin, all part of Lakeside, will be speaking for us this year. Some other exciting names: Bishop Gregory Palmer, Reverend Marjorie Thompson, who is with the Upper Room. We're really thrilled to have her with us. Reverend Tex Sample, who is Church and Society, retired from St. Paul School of Theology, and the president of Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary, the Reverend Dr. Phil Amerson, will be with us. A number of our churches in the East Ohio Conference that I have served were supporting Dr. William Ury, who is a missionary, and Dr. William Ury will be with us week 9. So again, just kind of a little sneak peek as to some of the speakers that are coming in, and we're very excited about that. But now the business of proclaiming the gospel. Will you pray with me? Gracious God, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of all of our hearts, be acceptable to you, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. It was during the French Revolution that a priest and a lawyer and an engineer were about to be guillotined. And the priest put his head on the block, and they pulled the rope, and nothing happened. He declared that he'd been saved by divine intervention, and so he was let go. The lawyer was put on the block next, and again, the rope did not release the blade, so he claimed that he could not be executed twice for the same crime, and he too was set free. They grabbed the engineer. They shoved his head into the guillotine, and he looked up, and he squinted at the release mechanism, and he said, wait a minute. I think I see your problem right here. This first Sunday of Advent, our task at Christmas is not to chop down the tree of celebration. Rather, it is to rediscover the cause for our celebration. What is this good news? What is this good news? If we want to understand how Jesus is good news, then we need to kind of squint out and look at some real-life applications. In Jesus' life itself, you can't help but see the evidence of the good news. As a result of what he was doing, huge crowds began to follow him around. Now, you simply do not attract huge crowds of 5,000 and more, as reported in the Gospels, in what today would be regarded as sparsely populated areas. Something special was going on. Amen? Something special was going on. Jesus in his earthly ministry spoke of an incredible hope, and he gave ample physical and spiritual evidence that what he was holding out was more than words. It was a tangible reality. So something has to change. Jeremiah says, squint. Look out into the future. Exercise your eyes. Look past the interstate that's crawling with cars and the hollowed eyes of tired workers. Tune past the talking heads on television to see a new kingdom.